in Mountain Home. We're live at the Mountain Home Police Department where we're waiting on a press conference that is supposed to start at 4 o'clock. They're going to be bringing us up to speed on what has happened there today. Here's what we know so far. Last night, the Mountain Home school administrators were notified of a threat and decided to cancel classes at 2 schools today, Bennett Mountain High and Hacker Middle School. They called it a precautionary measure. Mountain Home High also had classes today. They were in session, but it was on lockdown all day, also as a precaution. We will, again, we're waiting for this press conference to start. We're hoping to hear from the police chief, Nick Schills of Mountain Home, about what's been going on today behind the scenes. We have precious little details on what this threat involved. We're hoping to get more details at this press conference. Also find out what's going to happen moving forward. What's going to happen tomorrow? Will those students at those 2 schools be allowed to return to classes, or will they keep classes out at least through the weekend? We're hoping to get answers, and we'll go back to this press conference as soon as they're ready to start. Now, here's what happens when a school is put on hard lockdown. Teachers are told to monitor all exits during passing periods. Classroom doors must remain locked, and if a student needs to leave class, perhaps go to the office, they're escorted. Police also today patrolled the school grounds, and extra security was put in place at the main entrance. For the latest information on the closures and what's next for the schools in Mountain Home, go to idahonews.com. We, of course, will have the information from this press conference online as soon as it happens. Also, this would be a good time to download the CBS 2 News mobile app for breaking news as it happens, delivered straight to your smartphone. Now let's go back to the press conference. I understand they're starting now.
We just want to take a few minutes to kind of brief the public on what we had. I did receive a phone call in reference to a threat that came into the school system. The source of the threat was one of the online forms that you can fill out requesting contact, and wasn't a direct threat towards the school, but more of a warning of possible activity that may occur at 10 o'clock today. The superintendent didn't make the decision to close the school, as we all know by now, and we immediately began working that source. We were able to resolve the IP address rather quickly and find the source of the message. Again, that message wasn't a threat, but rather more of a warning of a possible threat. We have located the person that wrote that message, and we have interviewed that person. It is an ongoing investigation, and we don't have a lot of details to provide in regards to exactly who that is, and I will say that it is a student at one of the schools in the district. And we can tell you, in the interest of full disclosure, we do need to let you know that the source of that message is a family member of someone who is employed here at the Mountain Home Police Department. So we will take a couple of questions. If y'all have a couple, if we can possibly answer them for you, we will.
Could you clarify again how the threat was made? Was it like one of those blank sheets online where you'd enter your email address and then I guess a form where you hit submit on the school's website?
Absolutely, yes. So it was that exact thing. You go on and you say, contact us. You go in, you put in your email address, which may or may not be legitimate, and then you request to be contacted. That was the source of the message.
It was the website, the Bennett Mountain High School website, or was it the school district's website? Where was the contact form hosted?
I'll defer that to you.
That it was on the Bennett Mountain website.
Okay. And just to clarify, there was bomb threats across the United States today with the robo email. That has nothing to do with this threat here in Mountain Home, correct?
We have no reason to believe that our threat here or our warning of possible action is connected in any way with the nationwide incident.
Was the threat against potentially an individual or the school in general? Was it directed towards staff?
It was directed towards the school, the Bennett Mountain School itself,
So it may have been a student with a gripe toward teacher?
possibly.
Was basically just precautionary as far as the closing of those two schools this morning?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the critical thing in this day and age is we take any of those threats very seriously, and we're going to react accordingly. The reason for closing Hacker Middle School was simply just because they share the same campus. The threat was specific to Bennett Mountain High School only, and so we're going to always approach those things with caution and with student safety in mind.
And what went into the decision to keep the other schools open with all that increased
Sure.
security and safety protocols?
The big thing with that, Brian, was after talking with some of my colleagues with the school board and talking with law enforcement, the threat was specific to a specific building, and so there's also that part that you don't want to overreact to. It wouldn't be prudent to close a school that has no geographical location or any portion of that's stated in the threat. And so at the other schools, we simply went down into our lockdown procedures just as an added security measure with it, but felt very confident that with what we had received, it was directed at one school.
And is there school tomorrow at Bennett Mountain High School at Hacker Middle?
There is school at all schools in Mountain Home, and lockdown procedures are lifted.
When you say it was a warning of a threat rather than a threat, what does that mean? There wasn't any specific action mentioned that they were going to take?
I think the critical thing with it is the way that the email was stated was more of a warning of a potential threat with it.
How many people attend Bennett Mountain and Hacker, or how many students?
Well, Bennett Mountain is our alternative school, so you have about 80 kids there. Hacker Middle School houses our 5th and 6th grade, and so you're looking at about 600 kids in that building.
Can you talk a little bit about the alternative school? What sorts of students go there?
Yeah, sure. I'll tell you, it's a school that's very much a point of pride in our community. Bennett Mountain High School, to me, has a very different connotation as an alternative school than what we traditionally think of. We have students of all varieties in that building. Some of them may have been placed there for disciplinary reasons, but I can tell you the largest portion of the students that attend there are students who have requested to go there and are looking for a different setting educationally. And so it's a school that I can tell you outperforms almost every other alternative school in the state. And so to think that this is somehow related to a specific incident at Bennett Mountain, I don't think is accurate to say that it has something to do with that.
With the lockdown lifted tomorrow, is there still going to be an increased police presence in the area?
Yes, we will have increased patrols at the schools, just for peace of mind for the students and the parents.
And just to clarify, no arrests have been made?
No, but I will say that we take every one of these threats and investigations very seriously, and I do expect that charges will be filed before it's over with.
Can you
Can't
talk
promise.
a little bit about
Okay,
those
we're
charges?
going to dip out of this press conference now, but we want to tell you that if you want to continue to watch this, you can do so live on idahonews.com. We are continuing to stream this press conference from the Mountain Home Police Department. Again, the important things to note was everything that was done today was a precaution. There was a warning of something bad that might happen at a specific building at Bennett Mountain High School. Now, because Bennett Mountain High School and the middle school share the same campus, both schools were closed today. Other schools in the district, notably Mountain Home High, were put in lockdown procedures today. All of this as a precaution. Nothing bad happened.